Welcome to this explainer. So, today we're tackling a concept that honestly sounds kind of impossible at first glance. What if you could take the fulfillment, the balance, and the deep meaning of an entire long lifetime and literally condense it all down into a single 24-hour day? I know, it sounds totally radical, but there's actually a structured, highly practical way to pull this off. Okay, let's dive into this. Live a lifetime in a day. This isn't just some poetic metaphor. It's a seriously practical framework. We all have this bad habit of pushing our happiness and our passions off to some distant future, right? We wait for the weekend, that next vacation, or eventually retirement. But by distilling a lifetime's worth of value right into our everyday habits, we can bring immediate, profound meaning to our daily grind. We gotta stop waiting to live and start living comprehensively right now. To make that happen, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the master blueprint, a lifetime in a day. Then we'll start at the micro level by nurturing your inner life before expanding to outer purpose. Next, we'll explore connection and community, and finally zoom all the way out to the macro level, building your future retirement.
Let's kick things off with part 1, a lifetime in a day, the master blueprint.
And this brilliantly illustrates the whole philosophy right here. To build this day, you need to hit 6 specific daily habits. Keeping a childlike attitude, holding down a job that gives you a quality life, embracing some solitude, cultivating a larger purpose, connecting with family and community, and actively working toward retirement. Honestly, it sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But the real magic happens when you weave them all together. If you hit all 6, you've effectively lived a full, complete life in just 24 hours.
Moving right along to part 2, nurturing your inner life, focusing inward. Let's look at the habits you do just for yourself. Before we can go out and engage with the rest of the world, we really have to look inward first. Let me ask you, are you doing activities you've been passionate about since your early years? Because, as adults, we almost always trade in things like finger painting, building blocks, and that raw sense of exploration for spreadsheets and endless emails. We get so serious. But intentionally dedicating just a tiny fraction of your day to something you genuinely loved as a kid, whether that's reading a fantasy novel, sketching, or playing a sport, injects such vital youthful energy right back into your routine. It reminds you of exactly who you are outside of all your heavy responsibilities. Next up is solitude. And the instruction here is brilliantly simple. Spend some time alone. Think about it. In a world completely packed with constant notifications, unread messages, and just endless demands on our attention, how often do you truly pause just to exist? This framework places quiet, alone time on equal footing with your job and your community. It is an absolutely crucial, mandatory daily requirement for a purposeful day. It gives your mind that quiet space it desperately needs to process, recover, and just reset. Let's move to and see how this builds a complete picture. On one side, we have our inner life, which is fueled by that daily solitude and those childlike passions. And on the other, we have our outer life, made up of our community, our job, and our broader purpose. That inner foundation absolutely has to be secure first, so that we have the energy and clarity to face the external world effectively. Which brings us perfectly to part 3, expanding to outer purpose, engaging the world. With our inner lives fully secured, we can start looking outward. Let's consider your job. The goal here isn't for work to completely consume your identity. Instead, it should simply be a job that allows you to live a quality life. And really think about how relieving that is. Work doesn't have to be your entire reason for existing. It's a subtle but incredibly powerful distinction that keeps your career right in its proper lane, preventing it from totally overshadowing the other 5 pillars of your day. It's basically the engine that powers the car. It's not the entire journey. So the crucial point is, if a job just funds your life, where exactly does fulfillment come from? Well, it comes from working on something that is bigger than you. Your purpose is all about how you contribute to the world. Now, this could be volunteering, mentoring a newer colleague, or maybe even working on a passion project that inspires other people. And the key here is touching this purpose every single day. No matter how small the action is, doing this ensures your days always retain a real sense of outward meaning and legacy. Let's expand the scope even further in part 4, connection and community, the relationships. Because let's face it, a full lifetime absolutely cannot be lived in total isolation. And this requires 2 distinct daily actions: spending time with family members, whatever that looks like for your specific situation, and being a part of a broader community.
We really need both of these circles every single day. Those close, intimate family bonds provide deep emotional support, while your broader societal belonging anchors you firmly to the wider world around you. So I want you to really think about this. Who are you connecting with today? This isn't just some abstract theory. It's about genuinely evaluating your actual routine right now. Are you intentionally making time for those intimate family moments? Are you finding active ways to participate in your broader community? Both of these levels of connection are totally mandatory if you want a genuinely fulfilling 24 hours. Now for our final pillar, part 5, building your future retirement, future horizon. Finally, we're expanding our horizon to the very end of a lifetime. Now, what's really interesting here is how we view retirement. We don't want to see it as this completely separate phase of life that we just sit around passively waiting for. It's actually a continuous trajectory. It's about doing a little bit today, allowing the years to naturally pass, and directly connecting today's tiny micro actions to realizing that massive, distant, lifelong dream. This whole idea breaks down into 2 super actionable steps: think and do. First, think of what you want your retirement to be like. Really visualize it every single day. Where are you? Who are you hanging out with? What are you doing with your time? And second, do a little to realize that dream. Set aside a few dollars, read a quick article about that city you've always wanted to live in, or start learning a skill you know you'll use later in life. By doing this, you are actively building your future right now. You're taking a distant mirage and turning it into a concrete reality.
It all comes down to this core thought. Think of how your retirement want to be like and do a little to realize that dream. You aren't just sitting back and letting time slip by. You are deliberately, intentionally constructing your ultimate destination, piece by piece, day by day.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on. Did your 24 hours today truly reflect an entire lifetime? Remember, every single morning is a brand new opportunity to balance your childlike passions, your need for solitude, your work, your larger purpose, your relationships, and those big future dreams. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack this blueprint. Now go out there and redesign your tomorrow.